Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Total Football Talk. So we're going to look at all the latest news, transfer news, and everything that's coming out of Manchester United. And we just keep coming with it. And Manchester United keep rolling with the news. We're still in the transfer window, so we've still got plenty to talk about at the minute. It's going to close very soon for a short period of time, and then it's going to reopen because we're open early because of the Club World Cup. But let's look at the headlines that are coming in at the minute, and that is a potential Andrea Onana move out. Emi Martinez coming in. I'd love to get your thoughts on that, good people, to let me know what you think. Do you think Emi Martinez from Aston Villa would be a good signing, or is he just another problematic goalkeeper who has a rick in him? Get your thoughts in. We'll also look at a few other bits in regards to where Manchester United are with Viktor Gyokeres, Mbumeo. We'll also look at some news coming out about Ruben Amorim and his change in formation, or should I say, how he is going to operate with the new players that he has coming in. Fingers crossed we get Mbumeo and maybe Gyökeres. And then we'll also look at, what else are we looking at? A little bit on Victor Osimhen and what's actually happening with him and whether we could come back in for him. But let's start with the Andrea Onana news, and that was there's a realistic chance that Andrea Onana goes, which could open the door for Emilio Martinez. However, it's not being told that he's for sale. Originally, the strategy was to bring in a second choice goalkeeper, but that could change. So I think what Manchester United are doing here is they're going to bring in a second goalkeeper. It looks like Altay Bayindir could leave. We know that Tom Heaton's contract is up. I don't know whether they're going to extend it or not, or whether he's going to get the opportunity to come back in. And Andrea Onana is not. He's liked in terms of the personality by Ruben Amorim, but I don't think as a player he fits Ruben Amorim's kind of forward-thinking plan. Emil Martinez from Aston Villa is a very good goalkeeper. I know he's obviously had the big moment in the World Cup when he made that one-on-one save with Colomboani. He's made some brilliant saves in the Premier League, but he does have a rick in him. He does command his box well. He is a sweeper keeper. But we then also see that when we played them just in the last game of the season, one-on-one with Rasmus, outside the box, and he just body checks him, gets sent off. So there is a mistake in him as well. He does have Premier League experience. He has been brilliant for Aston Villa in recent times since he's kind of moved on there from Arsenal. So would you prefer him over Andrea Onana, or is there another goalkeeper out there that you would like? As I said, he does have Premier League experience, which does make it, slightly easier for him to adapt. We do know that Aston Villa have PSR issues, and they're really flying pretty close to that. Hence the reason why they had to sell Duran to the Saudi League, and the reason why Martinez may be available for around 25 million. Now, when you break down Andrea Onana's contract for a monetization, I believe that we have to sell him for about 33 million pound is it maybe around 30 million pound, 30 in and around that kind of figure. We've got to sell him for to at least break even. Anything above that would be a slight, would help us in terms of bringing extra money into the club to be able to use on an extra transfer. So that's where we are with those. Would you prefer Andy Onana? Get your comments in below, or would you prefer Emil Martinez from Aston Villa? I'd love to know what you good people out there think on that one. Okay, so we'll move on to the next story, and this is I kind of was talking about this late yesterday. And it's breaking that Manchester United are ready to open talks with Viktor Gyokeres, who is ready to leave Sporting for €65 million during the summer transfer window. Now, we believe that there is a release clause, and it is in around 65 million for Gyokeres, and Manchester United are pushing for it. We know that Arsenal are interested, but we also know that Arsenal really want Sesko. So this could pave the way for Manchester United to get Viktor Gyokeres through the door. He wants to work with Ruben Amorim. He knows Ruben Amorim's system. Manchester United, despite our horrific season last season, still are an attraction due to our history and our name. And, if this rebuild is underway, and we did have Cunha in, which we do, and Mbumeo in, who, we know that there's talks, and we'll look at that in a second. Viktor Gyokeres coming in to play up front. That transforms our front line. I'm not saying we're going to win the league. I'm not going to say anything ridiculously crazy like that, but I do think that transforms us, and that gives us goals that we didn't have. If you look at those three players and their goal output and their assists in regards and sort of in comparison to what we had with our front three last year, it's miles apart. they're so far ahead of us. It's unbelievable. Now, Viktor Gyokeres may have got in at around 50 plus goals for Sporting this year. I don't think he'll get anywhere near that in the Premier League, because he's going to be playing against much better defenders. So I don't expect him to go in there and score 40 goals and do a Haaland, or a Haaland, sorry, not a Haaland. I wish Haaland could do that. Do a Haaland. But I do believe that there is the opportunity for him to come in and get between 15 and 20 goals. And I think as a return for us right now in the Premier League, in regards to where we are, that's a phenomenal uptake in terms of where we were, because we had zero. Like, I think Rasmus got 4 or 5 goals, Ahmad got maybe 6, Bruno maybe got 7 or 8. I mean, none of them hit double figures. So that's where we are with Gyokeres. He's keen for the move. I talked about that yesterday. Manchester United are ready to start talking with him, which is absolutely brilliant. And maybe this is a deal that we can get done. Can we get it done before July the 1st? Or can we get it done before we go on tour, I suppose, is the question. If you had Gyokeres, you had Mbumeo, and you had Cunha all on the tour. Now, we need more players, and obviously I've talked about the goalkeeper. If we had those 3 players in the attack, I think that would be a massive help to Ruben Amorim in the pre-season. He really knuckle down, get his players to play the way he wants them to play, the system that he wants to play. Gyokeres already knows it. The other 2 lads could come in and learn it, and I think that would really help us at the start of the season. And yeah, so that's where we are with that one. So let's see what transpires over the next few days with Gyokeres. Now, this is what this is just in terms of Brentford are looking for 50 million plus performance related add-ons to take the total to 60 million. All parties want the move. Manchester United are not looking to drag this out, and this has come from the Muppeteers and Sean Connolly. And we know that the Muppeteers have been very good with Manchester United on news. They get a lot of good insights and a lot of good scoops. So if this is the case, that they want 60 million and they're prepared to do it with 50 million and add-ons, I think that's where Manchester United can look to make it happen. And hopefully they can make it happen quick, because lots of friends of mine that believe that Manchester United are going to drag this out all over the summer, like we have done with Pogba, other signings that have kind of dragged on throughout the summer, Frankie de Jong, who we didn't get, the kind of list. There's loads of players that we've just carried on to try and drag out, but we need to get this done. We need to get this done quickly. We need to get them in for the pre-season, and this sounds very promising to me that it can be done. It would be amazing to get a here we go this week, and that's what my fingers are crossed for. Hopefully we can get a here we go this week, and we can actually move on. And this was a little bit that was coming out from the Mail Sport and from Simon Jones, and he said Andrea Onana is likely to leave Manchester United this summer. Now, I don't know if he is, because I don't know who's going to buy him. I think the only people that can afford him would be the Saudi League, and I'm not sure whether he wants to go to the Saudi Pro League yet. There was rumours last year, nothing happened. There'll be rumours this year, and I don't think anything is going to happen this year with Andrea Onana either. But let's keep an eye on it and let's see what is going to happen. But there is hope. There is hope. Now, Manchester United head coach Ruben Amorim has decided that he will not hand Antony another chance. Now, we know that Leverkusen's interested. We know that Real Betis have sold on a player for £30 million. So that means we know that they have now got the transfer fee to pay for Antony in and around the £30 million fee. Now, I prefer, even if we don't make a profit on it, I prefer to sell Antony, get him off the books, get those wages off the books, get the headache that is Antony off the books, because we already got Sancho and Rashford and all the rest of them coming back. If Real Betis can get this deal done, they've said they don't have money. Obviously, they lost the Conference League final. They would have got money for getting all the way there. They flew up the league. I believe they're in the Europa League next year, so they'll get some money for that. And obviously, they've sold a player for £30 million or €30 million, not sure. But they've made money. So hopefully they loved Antony, and they thought Antony was the shining star for them. So I would hope that they come in and they're trying to do a deal with us as quickly as possible, and we can get Antony off the books, because as Ruben Amorim says, he ain't going to get another chance at Manchester United. Just a little bit on Ugarte, and there's a lot of support internally for Manchester United with Ugarte, and they believe he'd be a good fit in the midfield too. Now, this comes from Ben Jacobs, who, as I said, has been very, very good at Manchester United, particularly this summer. And I think that there is a good player in Ugarte. I think he's actually played very well in a lot of games. He's gone unnoticed. The work he does is not, picked up on by the mainstream media. But if you watch his games, he keeps his game simple. He is effective. He works damn hard, and he is very, very good, even on the ball, which again hasn't really been analysed properly in the mainstream media. I think that Victor Gyokeres Ugarte will do a very good job for Manchester United going forward. And then we just look at the last one, and this is a little bit on Victor Osimhen. Victor Osimhen's deal to Al Hilal is on the brink of collapse after hitting a disagreement over personal terms. Galatasaray are now sort of charging in full force to seal the deal. You know, Victor, I believe there's maybe, when it comes to Victor Osimhen, I think there's talk about his entourage or a slight headache, and I don't know if Manchester United want that headache. Yes, he is a little bit younger than Gyökeres, but I think if he was to get a full permanent move to Galatasaray, I think that's a bit of a shame, because I think he should be playing at a higher level. I think he's an excellent player, and if we were to buy him, I would have been very, very happy. Looks like we're all in on Gyökeres because of the personal relationship that Ruben Amorim has with Gyökeres, so it looks like Victor Osimhen is a target that's maybe dead in the water. We're all in Gyökeres. I don't know where we go if we don't get Gyökeres. I seen Cherki play for France last night. He was brilliant, scored an unbelievable goal, cracking game. I believe he's going to City. So I don't really know where Manchester United are going to go if we don't get Gyökeres. It almost feels like a lot of eggs. Not all of them, but a lot of eggs are in that particular basket. But that's where we are with all the news at the minute. So guys, thank you very much for joining me. Please, if you're enjoying the content, hit the old like, hit the old subscribe. Subscriptions have been flying up. I really, really appreciate it. The likes have been going up, and so have the viewing figures have gone crazy as well. So thank you if you've stuck around to the end. Really appreciate it. I'm going to be quiet now, and we'll have another video for you tomorrow at some stage. I'm in London on some work, but I'll try and do one tomorrow afternoon. Okay, thanks guys. See you soon.